like Reiki, past life regression, and so much more. All practitioners offer something unique to help you. You can pre-book practitioners before going to the event and even possibly win a gift basket by visiting 5 or more practitioners at the fair. Also, if you pre-book and prepay for a 30-minute session, you get a weekend pass for Maria's classes for free, normally a $59 value. And the first 25 people who show up Saturday and Sunday will get a free gift bag. Charvinity Psychic and Healing Fair is May 18th and 19th at the Doubletree by Hilton, Minneapolis Airport, 9 to 5 both days. It's only $10 to get in. Visit charvinityfairs.com for all the details.
Reach your highest level of consciousness and well-being with metamorphosisconnections.com. Metamorphosisconnections.com is an online directory of the best holistic and metaphysical practitioners to help you make your most informed choices. You can search metamorphosisconnections.com for classes, events, wellness and life coaches, plus metaphysical products and shops. You can also search for a wide array of healers from all modalities, including EFT, sound healing, energy healing, light therapy, ancestral healing, shamanic healing, reflexology, past life regressions, hypnotherapy, yoga, and more. And if you're not sure where to start, the search feature on metamorphosisconnections.com is tailored to help both those who know what they are looking for and those who are just starting. Come explore the possibilities for your higher self by visiting metamorphosisconnections.com. Their experienced practitioners can guide both beginners and those that are already on their spiritual journey. That's metamorphosisconnection.com, your link to direct you on your spiritual transformation.
Greg Bakun here. Like you, I love good, fresh, delicious food. So I want to tell you about this treasure in Roseville called Maverick's Real Roast Beef. Maverick's has the best roast beef sandwiches I've ever had. Made fresh every order. Add fries or onion rings dropped in the fryer when ordered, and you have a winning combination. Maverick's Real Roast Beef has a lot more than roast beef, so check out their website, mavericksbeef.com, or check out their restaurant on Lexington in Roseville.
The views expressed and the opinions given by the individual host, guest, random reptoid, or chupacabra may not necessarily reflect those of AM 950 Radio, its affiliates, or its sponsors. Now, it's time to step into the unknown. There are things people experience but never talk about. A shadow moving in the corner, flickering of the lights, a disembodied voice. We invite you to talk with us. Share your story, share your experience, because this isn't just your story. This is our story. This is GhostBox Radio with Greg Bakun.
And this is GhostBox Radio on AM 950, where every night we talk about the paranormal, ufology, Bigfoot, and so much more. My name is Greg Bakun. Happy Friday, everybody. We're Casual Friday this evening, and boy, even though it's a Casual Friday, I got a few things that I want to get to tonight. But before we do so, I just wanted to say hello to Eden Prairie, to Mr. Adam. How are you doing tonight?
Doing well. Yourself, sir?
I'm good. So Brett wasn't interested in weather tonight. Is that what's going on? He took. I don't know if he took you off guard, but he took me off guard by having no weather tonight.
Yeah, that took me off guard too, and no 3-second little the following may be pre-recorded.
You know why? Because we're not pre-recorded. We're live.
That's right. Because it's a Friday. This isn't going to be a best of.
No. And I mean, kind
of hardly sort of.
If you're listening to this beyond Friday, then this is pre-recorded, or not pre-recorded, but recorded. So it's confusing. I'm not going to lie. It's a very complex situation on the radio at the moment, and that's just kind of how it works. Already, I was wondering if someone's going to ask this question, so we're going to get to this right away. Emily wants to know, and I think she can see now. Did you cut your hair, Adam?
No, I just pulled it back. It's getting super annoying. But I'm almost at 10 inches. But if I'm going to be truthful, I don't know if I'm going to make it. This is really bugging me. Being a 43-year-old with long hair is not ideal.
I don't know. I think you make it work. I really do. But it is a good look though. When seeing it back. Not that I'm a hair expert or anything. I mean, look at me, but it works. And so, yeah, that's, now Emily has seen the light. She gets it. She sees what's going on over there. So there you go.
Well, and it's a shock on doing it on, normally I have it just laid down because, well, I'm lazy. But, it's more along the lines of Wednesday nights, even though the camera isn't on me, because we have Refined Divine on. I keep the hair pulled back definitely on Wednesdays when she's on, so I can see everything going on to my left without my hair getting in the way, so we can get all of our wonderful callers on for the one question readings.
And one other service you may need to perform.
Oh, the magic little red dump button.
That was unfortunate. But if you did it, and I didn't listen back, but if you did do it, well done.
I know I missed one, but I didn't miss the big one.
Well, I was going to say, if you're able to do it, well done. If you didn't, you're fired. That's kind of just.
Well, you met with Chad Thursday morning, and I'm still here.
Or that means even more sadly, he doesn't listen.
Or wonderful listeners didn't report it.
Right. Which we're still calling you wonderful listeners. Just remember that. So
love you.
the ironic thing about the weather, though, is that it was a very heavy weather day. Maybe not in Minnesota, even though we got some storms coming through here. It down in Iowa, down in Nebraska, Iowa, going into Illinois. It was pretty. First of all, pretty bad, pretty prolific. Weather Channel said that the tornadoes that went through were photogenic today, which it was kind of an interesting way of to describe it, but they were right. What we're hoping happens, and it really depends on his schedule. You remember we had Justin on Tuesday talking about storm chasing. Well, he was down in Iowa today. So I'm hoping in the second segment, he calls in, lets us know what it was like being out there, what he picked up, what he saw, that firsthand report of how the weather went in Iowa. And I don't know. I haven't heard if there were any fatalities. I hope not. I mean, obviously there is destruction down there. So even though it's that really kind of moral sort of dilemma that, the weather is the natural part of weather is so beautiful, but yet we don't want people to lose their livelihoods, their property, anybody. So it's such a nasty situation. But the tornadoes were out there all over. If you could see the footage from Lincoln, Nebraska, which was the first one that was captured today, it's just massive, and it's just mesmerizing to watch. It's crazy.
Yeah, unfortunately, I haven't had a chance to peep at any of that footage yet today, but that does sound like something I'll go back and look at the YouTube channels that, with the storm chasers, and also Weather Channel always seems to put together wonderful super clips of massive destructive weather.
Well, and that's the thing too, is that the stuff I was watching Reed Timmer today, because Justin doesn't do his stuff live, but he's posting pictures and videos later. The Reed Timmer stuff. I mean, they took the vehicle. What's the name of that again? You have to tell me again.
Oh, the Dominator 3.
The Dominator 3, which is built to go through tornadoes, and they did today, or at least they got very close. Where it was live. It stayed live throughout it, and I'm just sitting there like I can't believe it. So yeah, it was pretty incredible. So yes, it was a massive weather day, but I do want to take a moment, and I kind of touched on this. I touched on this on Tuesday, and that was that today is the 40th anniversary of the tornado that came through St. Anthony Village in 1984, where I grew up. And it started at around the place where I went to school, St. Charles Borromeo, and it moved going north up St. Anthony, taking out houses, taking out businesses, and it came up to Apache Plaza, which was, and I said Tuesday, the first indoor mall in Minnesota. That is incorrect. That was Southdale, but it's one of the early ones. And it just decimated it. It just really, tore it apart, just turning into clay and stuff. And luckily for my family, we weren't in the path of it. But the memories of it, the memories of the memories of the Army Reserve showing up the next day, and that you couldn't get anywhere around St. Anthony because they were everywhere, because there was so much damage, and we couldn't go to school. And then like a day later, it started to snow. And it was just, it's just very, in a way, for my 10-year-old self, it felt very apocalyptic in some ways, because it just like, suddenly the world was turned upside down. One day you're having tornadoes, next day you're having like a snowstorm. And when the snow was coming down, it was, you got snow, thunder, and lightning. So it was really just incredible. And Adam, I just wanted to, I went over to the Apache Plaza page, and it was I just wanted to read some of the stuff that was in there, because I found it was very interesting. And I, just some of the way that people are talking. A woman named Kathy said she was inside Apache Plaza at the Little Expressions Hallmark shop. She tried to hide under the cash register cabinet since there was not a roof on her little store. I remember, though, they were like kiosks, but actually like structures within the mall, so that the top were open, which where she would have been was a whole glass area above her, above the atrium out there. So, and that was all destroyed in the tornado. Okay.
That would have been so scary.
So she said, I tried to hide under the cash register cabinet since there was not a roof on my little store and the lightning was coming through the stained glass windows above. Brian says he heard it. I'll never forget that sound, which we heard as well where we were. My mom heard the train and she's like, everyone get downstairs. It was, I mean, it's giving me chills even talking about it right now. Got there before the first responders. The bank was surreal. Okay. So the bank was a TCF bank, or no, it wasn't a TCF bank because that was across the street. It was like a US bank. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember those? It was actually Midwest Federal, I think. And those banks were like circular buildings and they were all glass.
Yeah,
I
do remember those. Yeah.
That was there, and that was hit, and that was utterly destroyed.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, because it was at 8:20 something that night. I don't think anyone was in the bank. But and so like reading Brian says the bank was surreal. Yeah, now you're reminding me. Mike says that they lived in Windsor Green then, which is a community in St. Anthony, like townhomes. He says their townhome was hit, spent the rest of the summer in basement as bedrooms were destroyed. Christine says, I remember that day well. So scary, sad, and devastating. Let's see. Kelly says, my aunt was in the mall. I want to say JCPenney's, which would have been the side that was not as hit as heavily as the south side. She said, but I could be wrong. She also lived on the street in New Brighton that had the gas leak and blew up. Jesus. All right.
Don't move anywhere near her.
I don't even remember that, to be honest. That's interesting. Let's see. The nursery was a couple miles away. There was a nursery. Once again, you don't realize how many places are built of all glass until they're destroyed by a tornado. I'm not trying to make fun of it. It's the truth, though. It's like, oh, that's right. The bank that was all glass. The atrium in Apache that was all glass. The nursery that was actually a couple miles south of Apache that was wrapped around. The nursery was a couple miles away and was wrapped around my grandma's car. She lived with my parents. Scary times.
Oh, wow.
I mean, this stuff is truly incredible here. Let's see here. Let's see. My family home on 35th Avenue between Edward and Harding after the tornado. There's trees and destruction. She had a picture. I was home at the time. I ended up in the ER. Then on my page, because I had made a reference to it today of the 40th anniversary. Let me go there real fast. Let's see, a couple people actually responded here. Jack said, I was standing outside my grandma's house about 3 miles away from Apache when that happened. I remember going over there the next day and seeing the south entrance had collapsed. That was the side where Radio Shack and Jolly Hobbies were. And so it was like a supermarket, country club was there at the time as well. And, the interesting thing was that it was just I don't know. It was so surreal. And Apache had undergone a sort of a renovation there. They spent about a year putting like new siding on and making things nice. They finished that day. And it was that day that they finished. The tornado came and took it all off.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
That is timing.
yeah, right. It's not. Apache never was the same. We were talking before we got on air here that I found a article that said Apache had closed 20 years ago this month of April. So I didn't realize it's 20 years after the tornado that it closed. It was never, they couldn't keep anyone in there. And I'm not saying necessarily it was the tornado, because it might have been just poor management. They couldn't keep anyone in there. It was really a shell, no pun intended, of its former self.
Well, now that you bring up the fact that the sighting and all the remodeling was done the day of the tornado, makes me wonder if the business owner's insurances wasn't able to cover it. So anybody who's going to go in there, that rent would have been insane to try and even pay for the past debt pre-tornado.
So, and I'm going to repeat a story that you talked about prior to the show, and that was I had after high school, because the mall was still open. I'd gotten a job at the hardware store that used to be that was in a place that used to be a department store, because they were renting out to whoever they could. So this old department store had moved out years ago. A hardware store moved in. My first day there, they took me downstairs. The person who was working there took me downstairs. It's like a unofficial tour. I shouldn't have been down there, but we found a way down there. And downstairs at the time, back then, those department stores would have like little offices for optometry, doctors, dentistry, all these little commodities. And those were still down there, but then we walked into more of an open area in the basement. It was just nothing but massive amounts of debris. And I said to my friend Kevin, who was the one that gave me the tour, and I'm just like, what is this stuff? And he said to me, they opened up the floor when they were trying to fix the mall from the tornado, and they bulldozed all of the debris that they couldn't get rid of back down into the basement, and they covered the floor up again. It's just surreal. Before we go to break here, Mike says the bank was looted in 3 minutes. I was disaster first responder and spent 27 hours at Apache Plaza. They had to call in a snowplow to plow all the glass away from the parking lot. Wow. It's so. What's interesting about this, and Mike, I had no idea that I didn't know we lived around each other, or if that, or whatever, but I believe that it's incredible. St. Anthony is, suddenly it doesn't matter where you're located, the looters will come, right? Mm-hmm. And the fact that, that's my purveying memory is glass all over the place as well. Truly, scary times, and I think for many of us in that area, it was a life-defining moment. So I really wanted, and who knew, a 10-year-old Greg 40 years later would be talking about this on a radio show and commemorating this. And I really wanted to take the time to commemorate that tornado that came through St. Anthony. It killed one person, and life in our town hadn't been the same since. It's fine. It's not like it's stopped the growth, but it changed the trajectory of St. Anthony Village quite a bit. So why don't we go ahead? Let's get on to our first break. When we come back, at some point during the break, we're going to have Justin Wenzel. He's going to call in and talk about storm chasing in Iowa today. It's kind of a weather heavy episode of the show. Also, we have question of the week, which is just as cheerful. Everyone, stick around. We have a lot coming up. You're listening to GhostBox Radio on AM 950.
Are you one of thousands of individuals who know you have psychic abilities but don't know how to tap into your higher self? Refined Divine is an extremely gifted psychic medium who offers classes that can help you reach your goals. Refined Divine holds classes Monday and Thursday at her 2 locations and via Zoom. Classes consist of manifestation, learning psychic abilities, shadow work, and healing trauma. Refined Divine has helped thousands, and she can help you.
This is Psychic Medium Deb. You can go to refineddivinepsychic.com.
If you own a holistic or metaphysical business and are looking to expand, then you need to be listed on metamorphosisconnections.com. It's a network where you can grow with like-minded practitioners and reach new clients. Metamorphosisconnections.com is an online directory you need to list yourself and your business. Our platform makes it easy for you to create listings of your products and services, and you can also choose to list your classes, events, and so much more. Metamorphosisconnections.com helps you create weekly and monthly promotional ads targeted towards your potential clients and promotes them for you via social media and newsletter. There are clients searching for your specialty right now. Let us help them find you. Start your listing today so you can share your own unique gifts and talents by finding the level of membership that best fits your needs. Let us help you reach your clients that are searching for what you do. Visit metamorphosisconnections.com and sign up today.
The Tilted Tiki, located in downtown Stillwater, helps you get your tropical tiki vibe on with a large selection of fantastic tasting tiki cocktails served in unique and fun glasses, a menu of delicious food ranging from small bites, craft tacos, sandwiches, and more. Plus, don't forget they have live music Wednesday through Saturday nights. Located in downtown Stillwater, the Tilted Tiki is your tropical relaxation restaurant in Minnesota. Visit thetiltedtiki.com. Greg Bakun here. I've told you about the out-of-the-world roast beef sandwiches at Maverick's Real Roast Beef, but I haven't told you about their Philly steak sandwiches, turkey bacon avocado sandwich, BLT, crispy chicken, fish sandwiches, brisket, or pulled pork. Okay, you get the idea. They make a lot of delicious food to the same standard as their famous roast beef sandwiches, and now I'm starving. I'm going to go to Maverick's Real Roast Beef off Lexington and Roseville, and you need to go too. Check out their menu at mavericksbeef.com.
And I just want to remind everyone, May 1st, we're going to be back for Ghost Stories and Beyond at Billy's Bar and Grill in Anoka. We're going to be down in the basement, as we always are. You know, this coming Wednesday, we're going to be talking and sharing spirit recordings. It's some of our favorite evidence that we've picked up in our investigations, as well as some stuff that perhaps that we found other people have taken and that we find very interesting. It might just be EVPs, pics, like pictures, or whatever else that we have. It's going to be a fun night. $10 to get in. It doesn't include food or drink, but don't forget hamburgers are half price on Wednesdays. So it's going to be a fun time. Welcome back to GhostBox Radio on AM 950. My name is Greg Bakun. I have Adam in Eden Prairie tonight, and we are talking a little bit about the weather and commemorating the tornado in St. Anthony 40 years ago tonight. And also Mike had said in the comments that he posted his tornado pictures on his video on his Facebook page. I am going to have to check that out. But we have on the line with us, we have Justin Wenzel, who we had on Tuesday. We were talking about storm chasing and stuff. And Justin, how are you tonight?
I'm doing good.
You have to be pretty tired, right?
But I have. It's been quite an eventful day. I have a lot of adrenaline still pumping through me. I think I'll be good. But a 3-hour drive home yet. But, it was what I would, and I think a lot of other people, a lot of our storm chasers would call a prolific or career day. Absolutely amazing what I'd seen today.
Where were you today? You're down in Iowa, right? Where in Iowa were you?
They started off just north of Omaha, on the Iowa side of the river. On the Iowa side of the river, As that first storm, I think you had mentioned about the tornado that went through Lincoln. So that was the first storm that we were catching as it was coming up that way. Didn't really want to cross the river because once you get on the wrong side of it, it's hard to get back over. There's not a lot of crossing. So kind of let that come to us. And that was almost right away. We were put under not only a tornado warning, but a tornado emergency, which is the highest of the warnings you can get. Basically, if you don't get out of the way, your chances are not good. So we let that one come to us, stayed out of the way of that. The contrast was very low. It was very hard to see, but we did see 2 tornadoes out of that one. Left that storm, and then actually started heading a little bit more east. We ended up near Harlan, Iowa, which is where there's about 4 or 5 more tornadoes that came out of that one. We let that one come right to us too. The wedge tornado, multi-vortex, one of the most violent tornadoes I've ever seen. It caused quite a bit of significant damage across the area as well.
Oh.
Some towns that were hit, also some farms said. So those people are in our thoughts. I did talk to a rescue team that was out there, and they said at least in the immediate area that injuries were minimal.
Okay. Wow. I had seen there, and you may not have seen it because you've been seeing tornadoes all day, but there's some incredible footage of the tornado that was in Lincoln. That was probably one of the earliest ones that dropped today, I would think. And I mean, you said prolific. Funny enough, that's what the Weather Channel called it as well. They also called the tornadoes photogenic today.
Absolutely, yeah. It was some of the photos and videos I got are absolutely amazing. I've been doing this a long time, and I can say without a doubt I've never seen anything like it.
It's incredible. And I'd been thinking about you and your friends all day because I knew you're all out there, and I thought, I had been watching Reed Timmer all day, and literally all day, and some of the stuff I'd seen and what he did with his team and stuff today. I mean, it just knew that everybody was. I mean, it's like I don't know. It feels like growing up that stuff like tornadoes and stuff was happening where we couldn't really get to it or anything. We just knew that they happened. Today it was kind of like we're on display for everyone to see.
It was. I haven't been too much on social media. I've been trying to drive home, but the little bit I have seen, I do know a lot of, I guess, colleagues and other people I know that do this. A lot of people are feeling the same thing I'm feeling today.
Wow. Now, you're going to be putting stuff up on your social media within maybe tomorrow or something.
Yeah, I have a few photos on my my Facebook account that I did make public. You can feel free to share that, and then I do have some video footage I will post to my YouTube. I won't get to that till tomorrow.
Yeah.
By the time I get home tonight, it's going to be about 2 o'clock in the morning. Time to call it a day.
You think?
I will put that up sometime tomorrow. It's been a day.
When did you get out there? Did you leave Minnesota this morning and now you're coming back tonight?
Yeah, I left my house about 8:30 this morning.
Oh, wow. I mean, that's just a great example for people who are like interested in this. It's like, folks, this is a lot of work and you got to be on your game because even though you're not in severe weather now, you're still driving home and you got to be careful in that situation.
Yeah, I've seen about a half dozen deer already. I'm on the back roads of Iowa, the road that my maps is taking me through. I should be crossing into Minnesota here in the next 15, 20 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah, so I mean, there's still some things you got to watch out for.
Yeah.
Midnight, so
absolutely. How exciting. I'm so happy for you and your colleagues to be able to document and follow and really show. I mean, to be able to do this, you're still showing your skill at doing this because you strategically knew where to be to get the best recordings and stuff from it as well. So Justin, so people, you said that your pictures will be made public on your personal profile page, right?
Correct. And then tomorrow I will also have on my YouTube channel, I'll get all my video uploaded. I have a lot to go through and sort through and edit. But I'll have that out there sometime tomorrow.
That's awesome. So the personal Facebook page, if you want to go and check it out, it's Justin Wenzel, Wenzel. And I think the best way to find Justin on YouTube, I think it's at Justin Wenzel 86, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe it's something along. I believe so. Yeah. If you type in my name, it should pull up somewhere along there as well.
Absolutely. Justin, I'm not going to keep you because I know you want to get back and you want to drive safely and everything and focus. So thank you so much for taking the time and calling in, because it has been a very fascinating day.
Yep, definitely was. I appreciate it, Craig.
I appreciate it too. Drive carefully, and we'll talk later.
Will do. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. So that was Justin Wenzel, storm chaser. We had him on just this week, and I had asked if he wouldn't mind if he was up to it to give me a call and let me know what the day was like. And Adam, I mean, what a day weather-wise.
Yeah, no kidding. Like I said earlier, I got to go back and watch some of this stuff because unfortunately I was stuck in my work all day. But yeah, I do want to peep this out, especially you said Reed Timmer. Looks like he's gonna be putting out film of being like on the edge of a tornado. I'm gonna go peep out Justin's stuff. I'll give him time to sleep, so I won't be hitting up his YouTube until probably like tomorrow afternoon.
You're not gonna bombard him with messages. Where is the video?
Yeah, I ain't gonna be like, where? And there is a gnat in this studio that is driving me batty.
A gnat that's batty. You're driving you batty.
Yeah, there's a gnat or something in here.
Cynthia asked a very interesting question. She's curious how the wind farms did in that area. There is a lot of wind farms out in that area. That's a really good question. And you don't want those blades flying around. That's for sure. I mean, that's something else.
Yeah, that would be. I mean, to me, they're worse. I wouldn't say worse, but more dangerous than the old windmills that used to be out on a lot of farms.
Oh yeah, I mean they're about 10 times the size. One blade's 10 times the size.
Yeah.
Of one of those. Yeah, no, that's yeah, you don't want that. I mean, that's, I'm sure we'll see that in the new Twister film. I mean, because those weren't really that prolific at the time that Twister was made. I mean, you got to think that that's going to be a big part of it as well.
If not, they heard this, they're heading right back to the editing room to CGI some of that in.
Because I'm sure they're listening to this. Yeah,
they should, because that would be a cool visual effect. To be honest with you.
that would be pretty.
That would
be fascinating.
I'd watch that.
Right? Absolutely. Yeah. No, that's interesting. And, I wanted to talk much more to Justin, but I just like the dude had quite the day. I'm going to give him I just wanted to touch base with him, and I'm glad he called in. That was great. So
yeah, dude's been on the road over 14 hours at this point, near areas that could get really, really dicey, and now he has to deal with deer. So,
yeah. Which is the worst.
Yeah,
I hate it.
It really is. I mean, and I don't drive, but when the wife and I are driving at night, especially when we would drive to Indiana to go visit my family down there, I mean, I couldn't sleep as a passenger, one, because I'd feel really bad because she was driving and we were visiting my family.
Sure.
But two was also, I was kind of like always looking out for eye shine.
Yeah.
Just be like, brake.
And that's wise. That's you're part of the deal there, that you can be a second set of eyes for God. It's just, and I hit a deer once, and they just bounced off my truck and ran away. So, and probably died. I mean, that's just kind of how it works. They have that ability to get up and get out a lot of times. Sometimes they get mutilated, obviously, but sometimes they'll just bounce off, go somewhere into the woods and die, because it's still too much for them. Because I was driving like 45 miles an hour, and it just came out at me. And this is in St. Michael, so this isn't like on like a long road trip or anything. That's on my way back from Cub Foods. And and I went back to look for him, because I'm like, well, if she is hit, I'm gonna have to pull them off the road, which then is the other fear of like, what if they're not dead? They're just on the road, and you're trying to pull them off, and then they start kicking you or something to get away. All sorts of.
I had friends who would eat roadkill, so I know people would swing by and pick it up if it was there.
Well,
And I kid you not about that.
Well, you still gotta move them out of the way, though. You just can't let them be in.
No.
Emily, of course, says Tommy Boy. That is hilarious. That is amazing.
Oh my God! Yeah, the deer in the backseat. Oh my God, I forgot about that.
And then all of them scream, including the deer.
Yes, I forgot about that scene. That was brilliant.
I gotta, you know what? I should, because I won't. When I'm done with the show, I don't go to bed. Maybe I gotta watch that. That's a nice pick me up. That's funny. I forgot all about that. So someone sent in a note, which for one, there was a kind note, not like the stuff we've been getting on Facebook lately. So it was a good start. And that's because it came into my email address. And don't forget, folks, if you have any comments about the show, as long as they're not comments of like, when is Adam going to take over the show completely and you're going to leave? I don't want to see that. Adam might. I don't.
Yeah, I at least need a sidekick. You'd be my Robin.
Oh, that's kind. So. I'm not completely out then, huh?
No.
Not at all. Thanks for giving me a chance.
You're welcome. You're better at getting the people. I'm just great at shooting you. Hey, let's talk about this.
Yeah, right. Exactly. But it's massively helpful at the same time. So he sent a note in comment at ghostboxradio.com. That's comment at ghostboxradio.com. If there's something you want to say, something on your mind. Jim sent me a note. He says, "Hello, Greg. I recently discovered your GhostBox radio program. Unfortunately, your program comes on late for me, which is fair. I'm thankful that I have the opportunity to listen or download many of your programs without having to pay to listen. And then James mentions another show, which has become a commercialized program that doesn't have very good topics. All I'm saying is don't become another commercialized program with topics that don't fit your format. Thank you for what you do for your listeners. I'm looking forward to seeing and hearing what you have to offer. Sincerely, Jim." So that was very nice, Jim. By the way, just on a programming note, Monday we are talking about making bread, sponsored by Wonder Bread, and that.
Okay, you went to Brown. Did they have the Tasty Toast script when you were at Brown College?
Oh, I'm sure they did.
Tasty bread makes tasty toast. I've been out of that school for over 20 years, and that is still runs through my mind. Every time I see tasty bread, I always hop on Facebook to the group that I went to Brown with, and I just type tasty bread makes tasty toast.
I don't
get it.
I don't talk to anyone from there.
I talk to them more than I talk to people I grew up with. There's the set in the broadcast group. We are all still friends.
Wow. Did you know about the Facebook group, the Brownies Facebook group?
Yeah, I've played with it a little bit. I was in it, then I bounced.
You played with it? What do you mean you played? Okay, okay.
I was in it for a little bit, trolled through a little bit. It's like, I really don't know. Or in the few people I did know in there were in the morning class for broadcast, and one of them was my old roommate, and I can't stand him. Oh. So it's like, I'm out. Because the group that I was with, the afternoon trolls, as we were called in the basement, we just have our own group page, and it's just us 21. Well, unfortunately, one of us passed, so it's just 20 of us now. And yeah, we just banter back and forth constantly,
as if you're on the air.
No. Yeah, pretty much.
It's interesting. I mean, I'm part of that group because I thought it'd be interesting, but it seems like everyone on there has went to Brown in the 80s, and that's not me. But it is what it is. Why don't we go ahead and do this? Let's go ahead and take our next break. When we come back, I want to get to question of the week, and anything else on your minds, put it into the comments, and we'll talk about it when we get back. You're listening to GhostBox Radio on this casual Friday on AM 950.
Have you ever met someone who not only can help you on a deep spiritual level, but also potentially change your life? Refined Divine is an extremely gifted psychic medium who travels the nation and lives right here in the Midwest. And she offers mediumship, mentorship, house and business parties, energy healing, palm readings, and so much more. Refined Divine has helped thousands, and she can help you.
Hi, this is Psychic Medium Deb. I cannot wait to hear from you. You can go to refineddivinepsychic.com.
Come on out to the Charvinity Psychic and Healing Fair in collaboration with Maria Shaw Minneapolis Convention, May 18th and 19th at the Doubletree by Hilton Minneapolis Airport Hotel, formerly known as the Marriott Airport Hotel. The Charvinity Psychic and Healing Fair features a selection of highly skilled and exceptional local psychic readers, healers, and practitioners, ensuring a wide array of premium services like Reiki, past life regression, and so much more. All practitioners offer something unique to help you. You can pre-book practitioners before going to the event and even possibly win a gift basket by visiting 5 or more practitioners at the fair. Also, if you pre-book and prepay for a 30-minute session, you get a weekend pass for Maria's classes for free, normally a $59 value. And the first 25 people who show up Saturday and Sunday will get a free gift bag. Charvinity Psychic and Healing Fair is May 18th and 19th at the Doubletree by Hilton, Minneapolis Airport, 9 to 5 both days. It's only $10 to get in. Visit charvinityfairs.com for all the details.
Need a stone to change your luck or break a curse? Try larvikite, known for its hex-breaking powers. Need an herb to repel negative spirits? Try rue, used to repel demons and jinn. Want to create a decoy so black magic can't touch you? Make a witch bottle. For more magical advice, visit Magus Books in Minneapolis. We've got the tools and the expert advice you need to succeed against the dark arts. Find us at 1848 Central Avenue Northeast in Minneapolis or at magusbooks.com.
And join me on Monday on GhostBox Radio with Greg Bakun. We are going to have on our guest radio host, Christina George. She's going to come on the show. She's going to share some of her paranormal experiences, but also she and I talked about her sharing some of her precognitive dreams that she had over in the past. And Christina's great. She has a lot of great stories. I'm really looking forward to talking with her. So I think this is going to be a great conversation. So thank you. We're going to have her on and finally get to some really interesting dream experiences. We had Meg Bartlett on. We replayed that episode this week talking about nightmares and stuff. So I think this is a really good kind of a balance to that. And those precognitive dreams, that's really interesting to me. So
I was going to ask you about that because I'm definitely going to listen. I have no idea what that is. A precognitive dream.
Isn't that so you're
asking me and I'm just like, I have no idea what that is. Well, isn't that, I don't know.
It's more than deja vu. You're dreaming about stuff that happens. I don't think it's about your stuff. It's stuff that's happening that's beyond you.
Oh, right on.
So yeah.
I guess we'll be listening on Monday. Well,
I'm glad to hear that. Thank you.
I
don't expect anyone to listen. Mike, who seems to be like we've shared a life together, and I don't know Mike. Mike says Brown Institute broadcast class of 1983, afternoon alum. I was morning, you were afternoon, then Adam, right?
Oh yeah, there was no way I was going to do morning.
Yeah, I had to go to work at Apache Plaza. I'm not kidding. I had to go to work at Apache Plaza at the hardware store, and then I ended up getting a job at the same time over at the Woolworth in Apache.
Oh, so, Woolworths. The customer is always right. Woolworths.
it was quite it had a procedure like on how to sneeze in the store. I mean, they had a procedure for everything there. They, this is how you do this, is how you do that. But, it was very clear. And there was something kind of nice about that actually at the time too. So, yeah, that was, it's interesting. Long time ago, long time ago. But yeah. So just talk about question of the week here. This was, a very uplifting question tonight. And the question was, if scientists or the government knew something was going to happen to the Earth, such as a supervolcano eruption or an asteroid striking it, that would wipe out most or all of civilization, would you want to know ahead of time or live in ignorance until it happens? So let's see here. I'm going to read through some of these. I'm going to ask you, Adam, for yours because you participated as well. I like these questions. I like it when people don't take it so seriously, though. So some of them kind of did, but Chuck was like, I'd like to know the trajectory and if possible to avoid it. Chuck, if an asteroid is coming to the Earth, you're really not going to be able to avoid it. There isn't going to be a safe place. Somehow your life will be impacted by this. Okay. Just
He'll
want to.
be like the president's son in Don't Look Up and just happen to, be dumbfounded into survival under the rubble.
Yeah.
Did you ever see that flick?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that was actually, your question reminded me of that as well as an REM song.
Right. And sorry, I had that in your head all day.
It's a good thing I like REM.
Right. Danielle says, very similar to what you said, is I would want to know, I don't want to die at work. I want to be with my family. And Adam, that's pretty much kind of along the same vibe that you had, right?
Yes, but I did put a little caveat in mind.
Yes, you did.
Specifically said wife and daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing is, if not, board hopping GhostBox radio with Greg Bakun.
That's so kind.
Well, that's basically because I think my wife would want me to go hang out with the rest of her family, and I don't want to do that. If that's the case, let's be here. Let's bring on a couple of our psychics to tell people what they can prepare for,
right,
in the spiritual realm for a sudden boom or death,
and how painful it will be at the time.
Well, I doubt they'll feel pain.
Well, those who are directly impacted by it. But yeah. Chuck, he's going to be trying to avoid it. And little does he know what hell waits for him. So, there's the fallout. Yep, absolutely. Barb says ignorance is bliss. At least for me, it would be. There'd be a lot less anxiety not knowing. The Kim has probably one of the best answers. She says, I'd like to say ignorance is bliss, but the planner in me would like to know. Plus, it could be fun to watch as an asteroid strikes.
Yeah.
And I wrote back to her, I'm like, that's dark. And she's like, it would be fun in a fascinating way. So,
it'd be cool to see what kind of color the sky changes.
Right. And
that would be, yeah.
And it's not like she can stop it from happening. So why not, take out the lawn chair, sit back, relax, crack open I don't know, a pig's eye or whatever you'd like to drink, and just let the rest happen as it plays out. I don't know.
I think it's because of you, but did you just get a flash of the Simpsons episode when you pop out a lawn chair and
be on the roof? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, be on the roof, and it ends up being no bigger than a chihuahua's head by the
just
time.
As Homer said.
Yeah.
Just as Homer said. And what's scarier, the fact that it didn't happen or that Homer was right, as Bart said. Let's see here. Chris says it's a moot point, as most governments wouldn't tell their citizens, but I wouldn't want to know. I'd rather enjoy my last moments rather than live through a mini apocalypse of anarchy. And that's exactly where I'm at. And I'm not going to even talk about, because someone touches on this here as well. Matter of fact, I'll go down to Jim. Jim Roy says, seeing how horrible people were with hoarding toilet paper, of all things during the pandemic, I'd say I'd rather have us be ignorant of impending doom. So, and I agree with that. I think that's where I went to at first, is like, if people knew this is where people are going to settle scores, this is where, hey, well, just in case it doesn't happen, I'm going to rob all the houses around me and take all the money just in case, So, yeah. Yeah, no.
I just don't want to be stuck at work.
Well, there is that.
I don't want to be entering an order or putting something in a box to ship off to a customer or whatever, my day job, and then boom, it's gone.
Right.
That's why
well, and Eileen says, seriously, I think I'd want to know. I'd like to spend my last moments on Earth with my husband. If this was about 20 years earlier for me, I'd be like, no, not that for me. That's for sure. John says, I'd want to know. He'd be upset if he had a week to live and worked a 40-hour week.
Yep. I'm with you on that.
Diana says that would be the worst. She said, I would like to tell off my job in this case and let it all out that I've always wanted to say, walk out and give myself the best life I could in the time I had left.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds good. Bruce says, I'd want to know, but for societal purpose, peace probably better if we don't. Let's see. Darcy says, if we were told, and once again, folks, if you're just tuning in, the question is, if something catastrophic was going to happen to the earth and only like scientists and government knew about it, that would really destroy us or whatever else, would you want to know, or do you want to be in ignorance? Darcy says, if we were told, would most of us even believe that we're being told the truth? There's that perspective too. Yeah.
I just saw Refined Divine's comment.
Let me look, see what, let's
It'd
see.
be nice to know, because we could rip out the swear button and let it rip.
That you don't seem to care about it either anyway. So it's that is what we call
big
moot
ones,
point.
only on the big ones.
Yeah, the moot point. You seem to think you have more power than the FCC. Let's see. One of my other favorites. Roger says, "Greg, do you know something we don't?" You'll have to wait and see. Let's see. Jim, who is also, I've seen him in the comments tonight. You know, trying to be all scientific on me. With all the amateur astronomers out there, it'd be pretty tough to keep an asteroid a secret. Even harder with the comet, as it would be visible. But yes, I'd want to know when the purge starts. You know, Jim, it's not a real question. All right. Just wanted to make sure you knew that. It's not happening. Let's see. We got a lot of Jims in here tonight. Another Jim says, honestly, if it's going to hit, I wouldn't want to know. I wouldn't want society to know either. If mankind knew something was going to hit, well, we would see the best in society, and we'd see the monsters come out as well. I'm afraid the monsters would overwhelm the kindness. You know, I'm sure would be some nice people. I don't know. I don't know if I would believe that, though. Maybe that's just cynical radio Greg talking. So I don't know. Do you think you'd see a bunch of kindness come out?
I think we'll have to, if it happens, I hope Mercury isn't in retrograde and it isn't a full moon. Because then I think people would be nicer to one another. But in all reality, I think something big like this would happen. I think the vast majority of people would be nice to one another. A lot of folks would kind of be like, well, you know, let's make amends here to make sure, you know, St. Peter ain't reading that off upstairs.
Sure. So if you've lived a life of, if you live a life of not being nice, you have 2 hours to turn that around, and somebody's going to be live streaming throughout the whole thing, right? Reed Timmer. Yeah, exactly. He'll have the Dominator be like, you know what, we'll film this, or he'll shoot one of the new rockets that he's trying to shoot into tornadoes at it. I'm sure he is. Let's see here. Kit says, I would want to know so I could gather my tribe for a last big dinner. I like the idea of the food portion of it. You know, I would certainly enjoy a nice meal. You know, you certainly wouldn't have to worry about what you're eating.
No, not at all.
But then,
I would eat so much cheese.
and then, you know, I wouldn't have a paranormal show if I didn't take this to a dark side. What if you got people, though, where they're like, yeah, you're right, I could eat whatever I want. And I've always wanted to taste what, say, Adam tasted like. You know,
I was about to say, let's be Fijian for a week, but no, let's. But if you're going to turn me into Reverend Baker, no.
I mean, it's just like, you know, maybe what humans taste like, you know, and that sort of thing, you know. And folks, I'm not saying that's what I would do.
I do have that one neighbor. They don't look tasty. They're just kind of a jerk.
So more jerky like then.
Yeah. So, you know, a nice, you know, jerk chicken, you know, jerk person.
Well, you know, it'd be like, you know, you like making the last meal and someone's walking down the street and you're like, well, I do have this grill going. You know, I mean, this is still, I mean, this is on, you know, and see what happens, you know.
Hey, Sean, come here.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure if there's an apocalypse, yeah, we're going to have someone just walking down the street, walking the dog for the last time. Yeah. Yeah, that's good.
I don't see that happening, but it's possible.
It's possible, you know, like we talked about Tuesday that on the show that especially when severe weather comes through Minnesota, we all tend to kind of go outside instead of go to the basement.
Yeah, especially my kid and I. My wife's got a holler for Morgan and I to come in from the porch during severe weather. Like the tornado sirens going off. Danny's got to open the front door and like, are you two coming? Oh yeah, we probably should.
Yeah, no, I enjoy going out there and watching the funnels and the wall clouds and stuff for sure. Danielle does say harpoon your neighbors, so that's. I'm just saying. I mean, those are red flags, Adam. That's what I'm saying right now. Those are red flags.
She has two swords on her side of the bed. One is a prop sword. The other's a real one. So I always watch my P's and Q's.
Yeah, I could say something, but I'm not refined divine. I don't want to break any rules or anything.
Okay. We'll talk about that one off the air.
All right. Emily says, sacrifice yourself to save a turtle or something. Those gates will open right up. Exactly. That's what people believe. So, why not?
I have to save a turtle to do that? Can I name him prior? Can it be Donatello or something like that?
And when we say save, can I just buy one at a pet store?
Or do they mean save money and turn it into turtle soup? Because it comes with a bowl.
Those are good. Those are really good. All right, folks, as we wrap up, this week went by really fast. Don't forget, Monday, we're going to have on Christina George, who will share some of her paranormal and precognitive dream experiences. And don't forget to check out the Best of GhostBox Radio, airing Saturdays at 8 p.m. and Sundays at 4 p.m. on AM 950. Finally, whether you're chasing spirits or just drinking them tonight, please be careful out there. We'll see you Monday as we talk about precognitive dreams and other paranormal stuff with Christina George. Adam, thank you for everything tonight. Everyone, have a great weekend and take care. We'll see you Monday.
Come on, it's true. Work is almost bearable when the step